Well, hey, good morning to you. I was in this cave filming the Book of Enoch, and I wanted to take a moment and just kind of talk about really an ad on the radio I just heard. I was driving to this location. It's quite a walk, but I parked and then drove down here, and I was filming Enoch, and I just can't get it out of my head. Because ultimately what we have is we have this massive expansion of the U.S. Army's ammo facility locally here. And there's some things being said on the radio that they're advertising, which I've never heard. You know, I heard an ad about a month ago, and I was kind of blown away that it was even there at all. So what are we getting at here? Now, before I get into this, I do want to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, because we have partnered with them. We're giving away a brand new tracker fishing boat with a brand new Mercury engine and a brand new trailer. All you gotta do is call Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Kansas City, Kansas, schedule a virtual test drive, and you are automatically entered. That link is below. All right, well, what are we getting at here? Well, I'm just gonna share with you that I was born and raised around here. The very first gun range I ever went to was Lake City Gun Range. You know, it's not just an ammo facility. They actually have a gun range out there you can go to. It's outside the fenced-in area, and it's run by the Missouri Department of Conservation. But it's a good range. It's got a 100-yard rifle range and I think a 25-yard pistol range. Great facility. That was the very first range I went to. And after really kind of understanding what Lake City was later, like I always thought it was just a gun range. I didn't realize what it actually was, which is the U.S. Army's small arms and ammo manufacturing facility. It's also where we get a vast majority, well, maybe not a majority, but definitely a giant chunk, maybe 40% at least, of our 5.56 and our 9mm. So, and right now it's currently being operated by Winchester. Now, what we know is they're building a brand new facility. They've already broken ground to make the new Army rifle rounds. So that's good news. That means they're going to be continuing to make 5.56 ideally and 9mm, and then they'll just be also adding this. What's strange is they've amped up production so much that they are now aggressively advertising on the radio for bullet makers. That's why I've lived here my whole life. I've never seen or heard of an ad that they're desiring to find bullet makers around this state to come work at Lake City Ammo because they don't have enough hands on deck. Right now, you know, if you drove up there, you'd see they're running 24/7. They're running around the clock, nonstop making ammo. There's constantly, about every 8-hour shift, you'll see cars coming and going. And they don't have enough manpower to do this now. So they are desperately hiring people on the radio. I believe this is fantastic news. What this means is that production is not slowing down, it is speeding up. Obviously, there's a concern about an ammo shortage around this world because of military things taking place. So this is great news to see. I believe it's a huge kind of sigh of relief for me, and I just want to share with you because obviously if you're not in the Kansas area, you're not hearing the ads. But right now, Lake City Ammo, the U.S. Army Small Arms Production Facility, is desperately hiring bullet makers. So by the way, if you happen to be a bullet maker, you can go to Lake City Ammo, man. I bet they pay pretty good, is my guess, compared to most. Especially most around Missouri. There's just a couple small bullet companies around Missouri, and I know a few people who worked in them, and they don't pay a whole lot. But Lake City may be a different thing, but it's great news. They're hiring. They're so desperate to hire that they're putting radio ads on the local radio, looking for bullet makers. U.S. Army desperately needing bullet makers. This is great news. It's a great problem to have. Any thoughts or insight on any of this, especially if you have any insight, definitely put that below. Don't forget, call and enter in to win that free fishing boat. We'll be drawing in July. But I also want to say, by far the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, and never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.